Howdy everyone, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this November 16th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card the top right corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I really do appreciate it. So up to this point, Paul has pleaded his case several times now. He has pleaded with his fellow countrymen, just the Jews in general. He has gone before the Sanhedrin, the Jewish High Council. He has gone before the first governor, Felix in Caesarea, and then again the next governor, Festus, and now he has pleaded his case to King Agrippa. And throughout all of this, there is nothing that has been said or done against Paul that sticks. They cannot find anything wrong with him. But Paul has still invoked his right as a Roman citizen to go see Caesar. And so he will go see Caesar. So we're going to see the beginning of that trip today as Paul makes the long journey to Rome, where he will bring the good news to Rome. So let's go to Acts 27 and start in verse 1. It was decided that we would sail for Italy. An army officer named Julius, who served in the emperor's special army, was put in charge of guarding Paul and some other prisoners on the trip. We got on a ship from the city of Adramyttium that was ready to sail to different places in Asia. Aristarchus, a man from Thessalonica in Macedonia, went with us. The next day we came to the city of Sidon. Julius was very good to Paul and gave him freedom to go visit his friends there, who gave him whatever he needed. We left that city and sailed close to the island of Cyprus because the wind was blowing against us. We went across the sea by Cilicia and Pamphylia. Then we came to the city of Myra in Lycia. There the army officer found a ship from the city of Alexandria that was going to Italy, so he put us on it. We sailed slowly for many days. It was hard for us to reach the city of Cnidus because the wind was blowing against us. We could not go any farther that way, so we sailed by the south side of the island of Crete near Salmone. We sailed along the coast, but the sailing was hard. Then we came to a place called Safe Harbors, near the city of Lasea. We had lost much time, and it was now dangerous to sail, because it was already after the Jewish day of fasting. So Paul warned them, "Men, I can see that there will be a lot of trouble on this trip. This ship, everything in it, and even our lives may be lost." But the captain and the owner of the ship did not agree with Paul. So the army officer accepted what they said instead of believing Paul. Also, that harbor was not a good place for the ship to stay for the winter, so most of the men decided that we should leave there. They hoped we could reach Phoenix, where the ship could stay for the winter. Phoenix was a city on the island of Crete. It had a harbor that faced southwest and northwest. Verse 13. Then a good wind began to blow from the south. The men on the ship thought, "This is the wind we wanted, and now we have it." So they pulled up the anchor. We sailed very close to the island of Crete. But then a very strong wind called the northeaster came from across the island. This wind took the ship and carried it away. The ship could not sail against the wind, so we stopped trying and let the wind blow us. We went below a small island named Cauda. With the island protecting us from the wind, we were able to bring in the lifeboat, but it was very hard to do. After the men brought the lifeboat in, they tied ropes around the ship to hold it together. The men were afraid that the ship would hit the sandbanks of Syrtis. So they lowered the sail and let the wind carry the ship. The next day the storm was blowing against us so hard that the men threw some things out of the ship. A day later they threw out the ship's equipment. For many days we could not see the sun or the stars. The storm was very bad. We lost all hope of staying alive. We thought we would die. The men did not eat for a long time. Then one day Paul stood up before them and said, "Men, I told you not to leave Crete. You should have listened to me. Then you would not have all this trouble and loss. But now I tell you to be happy. None of you will die, but the ship will be lost. Last night an angel came to me from God, the God I worship and belong to. The angel said, 'Paul, don't be afraid. You must stand before Caesar, and God has given you this promise. He will save the lives of all those sailing with you. So, men, there is nothing to worry about. I trust God, and I am sure everything will happen just as his angel told me. But we will crash on an island. All right, and that's where we're going to stop. So, all of this to say that it's a very long and difficult journey for Paul to get to Rome. They're going mainly by sea, basically kind of hopping from port to port and island to island, trying to go through the Mediterranean Sea, kind of this way up into Italy, right? But it's been very hard. The wind was either against them or they had no wind at all. And then finally they thought, hey, we got the wind now. This wind coming in from the south is going to push us along. That's great. But then the wind from the northeast comes in and takes them in a completely different direction, and they're being tossed and turned. They hit a storm, and they're literally trying to hold the ship together with ropes from breaking apart. And Paul tries to encourage them, and he says, hey, it's going to be okay. Look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told you not to leave Crete. But it's okay. You're not going to die. God has promised that I must go before Caesar, and you will not die. But we will lose the ship. We're going to crash into an island. So be ready for that. This is a long and difficult journey, okay? And at this point, Paul is, more or less an old man, right? He's well into his 50s or 60s at this point. He's been through a lot. He's been beaten. He's been stoned. I think he had some sort of disease at some point, probably lost some of his vision as well. At this point, he's been through a lot in his lifetime. And so this is a really, really tough journey for him, but he's going to make it. He's got to see it through because he's got to go to Caesar. He's got to bring the good news to Rome. So we'll see how that happens tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.